Are we overhyping the event tomorrow? Is Katie Huberty overhyping what's going to happen tomorrow with this new iPhone and 5G?
Not at all, Scott. In fact, today's outperformance has taken it back up to #1 in my portfolio. Again, not because I'm smart, but because that outperformance means it leapfrogs over even a great performance out of Microsoft today. And I want to stick with Microsoft for a second, Scott, because Satya Nadella really came up and changed things the way Microsoft had been operating and the way they deliver the technology and the platforms that they deliver. Everything from Excel and Word to all the other things that that Microsoft does. Now look at what Tim Cook's doing with Apple One. Apple One is going to be huge. So to my good friend, Kevin O'Leary, I'll say, you want revenue growth? You're going to get it in spades here, Kev, because you're talking about taking 6 of their services, one of which already has 1 billion users. That's the iCloud, Scott. Then all of a sudden you throw in Apple Music, Apple TV with that great, breakout show, the movie rather, with Tom Hanks, Greyhound. Fantastic. So you've got 6 different services, including fitness, including news in there that you get for one price, Scott, and you can get it across 5 different devices. You can get it just for yourself personally for $14 a month. You can go all the way and go whole hog and get it, like I say, for 5 devices, the whole family or whatever. I think that's like $25 or something like that. Scott, when you already have 1 billion people on iCloud, you think that a lot of those folks aren't going to want to avail themselves of Apple Music, Apple TV, the health app, and all the rest? I think that's where you're going to get growth. That could be bigger, Scott, long-term, certainly, than the 12, the iPhone 12. That's what I'm banking on, and I believe the 12 is going to be spectacular with the launch, but I think the real revenue comes from all of these 6 categories.
Yeah, I don't want you to pick on Kevin because Bryn's another hater.
No, I'm not picking on him. I love him.
Bryn's another hater, right? She sold her shares. Now she owns them for clients, makes that clear. She doesn't love it. She owns it for the clients, and she's not enamored with the revenue growth either. Bryn, are you?
Well, so I think investing is so humbling, and this is such a great example of that, is that, I sold Apple 30 points ago. We had owned it with clients. We own it for clients with covered calls, which expire in January, which at this point will get called away because the stock has moved higher. So I owned it outright without calls. But I think that everything Kevin is saying is just factually accurate, right? The revenues are up cumulatively, I want to say 15% in 5 years. That being said, John and Katie Huberty are right in execution. And so that's where, we have very large positions in MTUM and the Qs. And, Apple is almost 14% of the Qs, and it's 6% of MTUM. So we definitely own Apple. But I think that as you look forward and you wanted to compare, let's say, 2 big tech names, I can walk you through what Microsoft is doing, not only from a prior revenue growth, but from a future revenue growth with their Xbox subscription model, with LinkedIn, with the cloud, where you can kind of put together a narrative. And I just don't see that with Apple. And it is frustrating that, once again, I sold it earlier, but happy to have it run up because, once again, we own it in the Qs and MTUM.
The question, Joe, is it running up a little too hot into the event?
No, I don't think it is. And when you're talking about sales growth, the average sales growth over the prior 4 quarters is 4% for Apple. In the most recent quarter, because of the work from anywhere experience, that has increased to 10%. Because you're going to get Apple probably selling 88 million of these new phones, you're going to see that sales growth double to nearly 20%. So you're finally seeing what Kevin is highlighting. There was an absence of sales growth. Now you're going to see that sales growth. You're also not going to see a paring back in the capital allocation strategy, the buyback intentions from Apple, and most S&P 500 companies are actually doing that. And then lastly, listening to John Fort last hour, I think he really talked about something that's important, and that is this launch is just not going to be about 1 quarter. This launch is going to be about the entirety of 2021. As 5G evolves, you'll see the speed getting faster and faster, and that will continue to attract and have new buyers of the phone get gaining momentum.
And it speeds up the refresh cycle again, doesn't it, John? Isn't that one of the important angles? You've been waiting and waiting and waiting for 5G. Well, now's your moment.
Yeah. Think of how many of your friends, Scott, perhaps including you and me, that have been waiting for a refresh cycle. I've got an 11 Max. It's only a year and a half old or whatever, but I could, since I buy them outright and so forth, Scott, I could upgrade whenever I want. Haven't wanted to because there's not been a reason until now. Now I will. I wish that they would have done, as Kevin said, taken it to a higher res, a higher hertz rate. But this one's going to be great for me. It'll be great in terms of also spreading that signal out for my hotspot and so forth, because having a 5G hotspot will be a lot better than what it presently has. And I think this is going to be a driver, like Joe says, 88 million. That's the projection right now. That's allegedly how many of these phones they've ordered. I think you put those out there, Scott, and then, like I say, the billion people that are already on iCloud, and then start wooing people in from, why do you think they dropped Sonos and Logitech from the App Store? Because Apple Music, Apple Television, the fitness tracker, which is huge, of course, giving that away, Scott, to get people in is a crushing blow to Android, much the way that Apple has done this in the past. This will be just like Disney with Disney Plus, Scott, when they offered that for free to Verizon subscribers and so forth. This is getting that camel's nose under the tent, and once it's under there, it's there to stay, Scott.